This is QTV News and I am Jenna Bosonko. Coming up, President Barrow has landed in Qatar on his first official visit to the Gulf state, where he is expected to visit a number of infrastructure projects. A theatre company is organizing a 2-day drama festival with the aim of rescuing stage and theatre drama in danger of being lost to future generations. The National Human Rights Commission holds a leadership orientation workshop for commissioners and staffs to enhance skills needed for democratic leadership. The Gambia is out of the World Cup qualifiers after a 2-0 loss in Luanda this evening. For more on this and other stories, stay tuned. President Barrow has arrived in Doha, Qatar for his first official visit to the Gulf state. As Aliou Cisse reports, President Barrow was received on arrival by the Qatari Minister of Municipality and Environment.
After a long flight, President Barrow and delegation arrived at the Hamad International Airport in Doha, Qatar. He was received on arrival by the Qatari Minister of Municipality and Environment, Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz bin Turki al-Subay. During his visit, among other engagements, President Barrow will visit the Qatar Rail Retail Center, situated at the Qatar Rail Exhibition Center station in the city's West Bay area. President Barrow, who is visiting the Gulf state for the first time, will also visit the Qatari Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy. Qatar Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy is the entity responsible for overseeing all construction and infrastructure projects for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. President Barrow will have an audience with His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Emir of State of Qatar at Amiri Diwan. The two leaders are expected to use the meeting to discuss bilateral and multilateral issues of interest to both countries. As part of the ongoing transitional justice process, Qatar provided a $3 million grant to the Gambia. The Gulf state also funded the training of 12 candidates from the Ministry of Justice, the police, and the judiciary to undergo training in cybercrime and anti-corruption in Qatar. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Sites that attract tourists are almost dying out in the rural area. According to a tour guide we spoke to recently at Kiang Tendaba village, tourists are still attracted by the beautiful things we have in the country. He also mentioned some of the challenges they face in their job. Ibrahim Abalde has the rest of that story.
Every year, thousands of tourists visit the Gambia for sightseeing and to enjoy the beautiful nature Gambia offers to nationals and visitors alike. QTV visited Tendaba village, where most of the tourists visit for bird watching, and found out that the bridge which tourists use to access the river for boat trips will be gone in few years. We took the opportunity to speak to one of the tour guides who visits the site often, and this is what he had to say.
The challenges are enormous. You cannot even count them because it looks like that the tourism is very, very much dying here in the Gambia, because you can see the jetty here. It is across the country, all the jetties are almost the same, and the boats need to be improved. So there are a lot of things to be done. Lot of things to be done. If you see about the services, the rooms, the ecosystem, these are very, very poor. You can see rooms are leaking. You can go to other ecologies. You cannot even find toilet papers, no towels. These services need to be done because they're giving them money, so they are not putting it back to the place. So which means they are just putting money in their pockets. They neglected their place. That's it.
From your own point of view, what do you think is the cause of these problems? Because we are standing on the jetty and it's like it is a bit dilapidated. So some of it you can see it's halfway gone.
That is very, very true, because I think that the owners, they need to be doing something because they receive money already, but they don't want to put it back. So my advice is the government need to be following these things very, very well, to have a team that will be going out to see all these places are functioning, what license they have even to operate, and what services they have. because we give with the guests. They said you are in the restaurant. One time the guest will come out and say, "Oh, my pump is not working. My thing is not working. I don't have a towel. I don't have that." So that is, I think, is very discouraging and it's disgraceful to the Gambia, because the system Gambia have been in the tourism system for many years now. I think we have passed that system now. Yeah.
Let's compare previous years when it comes to tourism in the Gambia and now. What do you think? Can you spot any difference?
Yes, because I think that previous years the numbers of tourists are coming are not much. So the services, the little hotels we have, they improve themselves very well. But the more numbers we are having now, more ecologists are all over the country, but they are not improved. This is it. More numbers are coming. People need to be improved their lodges. People need to improve their services, their food. Everything needs to be improved, definitely, because more and more tourists are coming in the Gambia. Gambia is now #1 in the West Coast now.
Gambia have been playing its part in the tourism sector for many years. And of course, people have been hearing about the smiling coast of Africa. But the biggest question is, if they come to the Gambia, are they provided with the necessary services and products they aspire for? There are a lot of things to improve when it comes to the tourism sector in the Gambia. We've seen the gentleman have just mentioned some of those things and call on authorities who are responsible to take proper action quickly. Ibrahim Balde, QTV News.
A two-day drama festival to promote arts and culture as well as showcase the talents of Gambian entertainers is to be organized by Stage and Screen Entertainment Africa. Mam Jara A. Cisse tells us more.
Formal drama and theatre in the Gambia's history started during colonial rule era. During those days in Batas, the old name for Banjul, youth groups organized drama as part of their annual activities. Facts have proved that colonial rule was aimed to discourage indigenous African culture and expression. Despite this, the record shows that the people of Banjul, particularly women, between 1924 to 1940s remained active. The power of drama can be enormous because it teaches and creates awareness to people, particularly youths, about issues affecting them in society, such as forced marriage, sexual violence, rape, and many more. Today, the attention given to formal drama in theatre, for example, has declined due to lack of support as well as how actors are treated. Stage and Screen Entertainment in Africa is a premium entertainment arts company with a vision to promote development in creative and performing arts in Africa, which they will do via a festival. The two-day festival hopes to strengthen the bond between drama groups and the poet to showcase their talents. Milton Kamanda, production manager of Stage and Screen, explains why the two-day festival is crucial.
For the first time in Gambia, we have all the drama groups together as one family, performing and showcasing our creativity through the expression of maybe poetry, dance, singing, acting. That is all the Drama Fest is all about. And it's also to project the image of the Gambia creative and performing arts industry.
He further talks about the challenges faced by theatre and drama in the Gambia.
Theatre in Gambia is facing numerous challenges. And if you can see all these groups here, they are surviving on their own. It takes them huge amount of resources to put up just a small play that we see on TV. And most of them, they don't have funding partners or they don't have funds that they depend on. So they basically do their own fundraising by themselves.
Ibrahima Jawane, an actor in Balangdala, has this message for the government.
We are really disappointed in this country. We are really disappointed in this country, and it's right time for you, the leaders in government, to help us.
The main objective of the event is to empower the next generation through leadership, promote entrepreneurship in Africa through training, appreciate to celebrate the diversity of African arts, among others, The festival is scheduled on the 25th to 26th of October 2019 at Ibujan Theatre. Reporting for QTV News, I am Mamjara ACC.
Brilliant initiative for our entertainers. We will go for a short commercial break. When we return, the news continues. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
To build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With the touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
It is the new era in broadcasting. We showed it to you with our continuously improving content with thousands of viewers around the world. Now, how do you take advantage of our existing and constantly increasing viewership? Advertise with QTV and reach a large audience. Call us on 3244 or email marketing@qtv.gm. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter or Instagram. QTV Gambia. QTV, a new era in broadcasting. Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. A stimulation exercise was conducted on Monday by the Gambia Red Cross Society of the Kanifing municipality. The aim was to prepare Red Cross volunteers for future emergency operations.
As part of the activities marking the third edition of its Umoja camp, the Kanifing Municipal Red Cross branch held a simulation exercise to build the capacities of its gallant volunteers in preparing them to respond effectively and efficiently to future emergency situations. The camp director, our BT, shed light on the composition of the exercise.
Participants in the camp, in which they engage in simulation exercises, which are various activities or exercises for them to showcase what they have learned during their classes. And this involves the first aid class, the psychosocial class, you have the gender and diversity, reproductive health class, leadership class, with, among others also, in which the students will showcase all that they've learned during the 5 days training, during the 5 days intensive training, for them to know the practical side of it.
The first aid coordinator, Musa Suso, explains the purpose of the exercise.
We're very, very glad to do this today. I think it's a form of assessment. We've gone through a 5 days intensive first aid training, equally 5 days intensive psychological first aid and disaster. So it's important that we get to test their abilities to know whether exactly what they've learned can be implemented, and after this time there will be debriefing and evaluation to know exactly what are sort of the shortcomings and then what needs improvement and what does not need improvement.
Explaining the importance of the simulation exercise, the branch officer Omar K. Baji went on to say,
level of understanding in terms of operational wise as far as the volunteers the Gambia is concerned. So here we are representing the Gambia because we show the people like who we are and what we can do. So in terms of eventualities, the Gambia is always ready to make sure human life have been dignified, and of course as well, we also give out the services that is expected of the Red Cross. So this is why we are. So we just went out there this afternoon to simulate what we have learned theoretically in the Gambia Red Cross. So we are showing the public who we are and what we can do in terms of eventualities. We are ever ready. We are ever set in case of any eventualities that might erupt.
The Deputy Disaster Management Coordinator of the Gambia Red Cross Society, Aissatou Diouf, had this to say.
On behalf of the Gambia Red Cross Society, I want to thank the Kanifing Municipality branch for taking up the challenge to organize this capacity building camp, which housed about 300 participants. For the past 5 days, the volunteers have been engaged in areas of capacity development on which the Gambia Red Cross operates. And today they had the simulation exercise. The purpose of this exercise was to test the capacity of the volunteers. They've been engaged in the theoretical aspect, and today the simulation exercise was to ensure that they practicalize what they've learned. From this moment, we're going to have a debriefing exercise where the volunteers are going to be engaged on issues relating to the simulation exercise. This is where we're going to identify our strengths, our gaps, and see ways to improve our capacities in the future. On behalf of the Gambia Red Cross Society and on behalf of the Disaster Management Department, I say a very, very big thank you to the KM branch for taking up this huge responsibility, and I also encourage other branches to emulate this noble cause.
The Kanifing Municipal Red Cross branch is one of the most vibrant branches under the Gambia Red Cross Society, with a vast volunteer base of about 54 registered links in schools and communities within the municipality. It has been rendering various humanitarian services to communities to alleviate human suffering through the power of humanity. For QTV News, Lamin Alaj Fandin Dabo.
A fully fledged democratic nation is a goal for all Gambians. However, this will remain unattainable without suitable leaders and the promotion and protection of fundamental human rights. Aisha Jang has the rest of that story.
The National Human Rights Commission, in collaboration with the African Union's Department of Political Affairs, the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, and the Network of African National Human Rights Institutions, hold a 3-day leadership orientation workshop for its commissioners and staff aimed at enhancing their skills and capacity on strategic planning and prioritization. Having only been established in February 2019, the NHRC is still in its formative stage. However, much progress has been made, including the recent training of 30 police officers on human rights, especially the rights of people in custody. Emmanuel Daniel Diouf, chairperson of NHRC, shares an update on the work progress made pertaining to recent human rights violations in the Gambia.
Currently is investigating the death of a man by the name of Usman Dabo, who was allegedly tortured, by personnel of anti-crime unit of the Gambia Police Force, which sparked of riots in the Greater Banjul on the 24th of July.
Hussein Tomasi, representative of the Minister of Justice, states that the importance of the workshop training, saying it could not have come at a better strategic time, given the background of human rights violations under authoritarian rule the country is emerging from.
We strengthen the capacity of commissioners and staff of the Commission, as well as its organizational capacity and structures. Defining your strategic priorities, managing your budgets, how to focus interventions to ensure greatest impact, developing capacity as well as balancing the different but related aspects of your mandate are all challenges you are confronted with as a newly established commission, especially under these trying times when public expectations on your commission to deliver on your mandate is very high.
A representative for the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, Maurice Ngwele, says the demand from Gambians for respect for human rights and support for socio-economic transformation is at an all-time high. He also reminds participants of their critical role in the process and to make the most of the 3-day training.
And the expectations are therefore very high. And we really hope that we will benefit, you will benefit during this 3-day to interact with our experts who are here in the room and to get what you can from them to sustain your work and to pave the way in drafting your multi-year work plan.
Human rights are rights inherent to all human beings regardless of race, ethnicity, sex, language, religion, or other status. It also includes rights to life and liberty, freedom from slavery or any caste system, freedom of expression, and the right to health, work, and education. The NHRC of the Gambia aims to preserve and promote human dignity, connoting that we are all worthy of honor and respect. For QTV News, I am Aisha Jain.
And in sports, the Scorpions of the Gambia are out of the qualifiers for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar after a 2-0 loss in the return leg against Angola in Luanda this evening. The team was hoping to overturn a narrow 1-0 loss at home last Friday at the Independence Stadium in Bacau. Before we end this news bulletin, let's recap our main headlines. President Barrow has landed in Qatar on his first official visit to the Gulf state, where he is expected to visit a number of infrastructure projects. A theatre company is organizing a 2-day drama festival with the aim of rescuing stage and theatre drama in danger of being lost to future generations. The National Human Rights Commission holds a leadership orientation workshop for commissioners and staff to enhance skills needed for democratic leadership. The Scorpions of the Gambia are out of qualifiers for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar after a 2-1 loss in the return leg against Angola in Luanda this evening. The team was hoping to overturn a narrow 1-0 loss at home last Friday at the Independence Stadium in Bacau. That is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Thank you for your company.